Welcome to Seeing Scarlet Shelby here with Tyler. But most importantly, we have Faith Nguyen, all Big 12 goalkeeper from Texas Tech Soccer with us today. Very excited to talk to you, Faith. Thanks for joining the show.
Thank you so much for having me. We love you guys. So I'm glad
Oh,
to
appreciate
finally
that.
make an appearance.
We love y'all more. That's all. That's all. No, we're excited. Texas Tech Soccer gets underway this week officially on Thursday against San Diego State, and then they're in Lubbock on Sunday for the home opener. So if you get nothing else out of this, y'all be there on Sunday to watch them. But we're going to get into all of that as well as their exhibition that happened last week. Y'all don't need to hear us try to guess what happened. We have Faith here to get into that. But before we do that, we want to get to know you just a little bit first. We always like to start off every interview with like, who are you outside of soccer? So who is Faith Nguyen off the pitch, so to speak?
Yeah, I like to think I'm kind of just like a ball of energy. I'm always doing something. I have a ton of hobbies. I love to go on walks, and I'm a huge baker. You can ask the rest of the team. I love to bake
What?
stuff for the team. Yeah, I just love to be outdoors and just spend time outside. I love the sun more than anything, so anytime I can get sun time, I just love and just enjoying that and like spending time with the girls.
Big fan of the rec pool.
I actually have not been there. I am barred from the rec because no,
What?
because no, I know.
Did you break someone's ankles or something?
When you're a grad student, you're not allowed to
Oh
have
yeah, you have
access.
to pay extra. Yeah, I remember
Yes,
that. Yeah,
and obviously I'm not going to pay to go to a gym when I have access to the SBC, but
unnecessary.
I want to go so bad. I've been
I know
hearing.
some people, Faith. I'm gonna email them after this and be like, "What are
Okay,
we doing?
perfect.
Let
Yeah,
Faith Nguyen into
you
the
can
rec
you
pool."
can tell them to let me in, please.
That's funny.
So other than goalkeeper, obviously, which is like your main thing, did you ever like play elsewhere on the field? We know that Coach Stone mentioned jokingly that you were signed here to play midfield, but was there any other positions that you were interested in, or were you always goalkeeper?
It's so funny you guys asked that because I've actually been a field player way longer than I've been a goalkeeper.
That tracks.
Yeah, my recruiting and like soccer journey is kind of unique, and especially from a goalkeeper standpoint. I was pretty much a field player up until my sophomore year, and I had dabbled with goalkeeper in eighth grade, like a little, and more so in high school. And then it wasn't until sophomore year that I made the true transition. And then senior year, I ended up going back on the field. And then obviously college came along and I had to lock in on one. But I ended up playing on the field in a few games at UCLA just for funsies. So yeah, I love being a field player. I think that's my core and where I started. So we'll always have that part of me.
Oh, we gotta let you just bring the ball all the way up and just really confuse people. I don't know
Oh
how
my
you
gosh,
do that, but
if there's a trick play that we could
oh
do
my gosh,
where that would
are there
involve
trick
me,
plays in
I would
soccer?
take
Let's
it.
go. I'm in. I'm in. Subscribe. Maybe if y'all have a big lead on someone or something, it could be fun.
Yeah, I think that would definitely give some people a jump scare, but I'd have
Yeah,
fun with it.
I'm sure you would. It'd be hilarious. You mentioned UCLA. Obviously, that's where you started college. But you're here at Texas Tech now. Can you share a little bit about that story? I know it's a fun story. Kind of you approaching the team at the draft and kind of weaseling your way onto this team. It sounds like in the best way possible. We're all happy it
That's
happened,
funny. Yeah, I entered the portal in the fall of that year, and funny enough, I wasn't really sure exactly what the portal had entailed for me. I absolutely loved it at UCLA, and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to leave, but I wanted to have the option of it. Um, and I had never heard of Texas Tech, and then I remember this one time I was looking at the rankings, and I was like, man, like who is this undefeated Texas Tech team? And next thing you know, I'm watching some games and I absolutely fell in love with this team from afar with like zero intent of coming to this team. I was just watching them from afar. And then I remember over winter break, I made a list of schools that had goalkeepers leaving. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to them. And then the draft, the NWSL draft, that the last one ever was happening. And a lot of my teammates were entering the draft. And I called actually on my way to the draft Blair and Tom. And I was like, oh, I just realized I probably called their office phone. Like, no one's going to pick up because they're at the draft. And then some of my teammates are like, Faith, like, you're probably going to see some of these coaches. You should totally go up to them. and I have the most awkward social anxiety going up to people. So I was like, no, like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So I'm at the draft and like my teammates get drafted. It's a great time. And I'm walking and I see Tom Stone like right in front of me. And my teammates knew that I really wanted to talk to him. And I just had no choice. But my like one of my teammates kind of gave me a little push forward. Shout out Maddie Desayano. Love her. I would have not talked to any other coach there if it wasn't for her. And I was like, hi, Coach Stone. And he was looking at me like, who is this girl? Um, and then, yeah, next thing you know, I was like, do you guys happen to need a goalkeeper for this upcoming year? And he was like, are you in the portal? I was like, I am indeed in the portal. And then he goes, Blair. And he like whistles him over. And next you know, Blair was like, text me your highlight video. Texted it to him on the spot. He texted me right after. And then the next day we were on a call and he was like, let's get this thing set up. 2 weeks later, I'm on a visit. Absolutely fall in love with this place. I ended up like taking my time with the transfer portal process, but I'm committed within the next month and a half. Yeah,
I love that story so much. Yeah,
yeah, me too.
go find your spot. I love that explains you as a player, to be honest, because you play that way too, with like such intensity out there and attacking. Maybe that comes from being a field player as well, a little bit, just a little bit different style than you see from some keepers out there. Where does that intensity that you play with come from? Is that just a background thing, or just you as a person?
I think both. I'm very much like an all or nothing person. Like when I do something, I am fully there and balls to the walls, like enjoying what I'm doing. And I absolutely just love soccer and I love playing with this team. And I mean, you see, like our team is just so fun to watch and it's even more fun to play on. And I think that intensity I've always had, but this team in general just really brings it out of each other. And I think you can see that like when we start going, like we're going.
Yes.
And I just, yeah, I just love this team and I love this game and I'm just having fun out there.
Yeah, that's the best answer ever, Faith. That's all we want to see out there. It makes you play better too. On the flip side of that, though, I've noticed before games sometimes you're like jumping up and hanging from like the goal stanchion and stuff. Are you getting like zenned out in that moment, or is that like just the best back stretch of all time? Like, what's going on there?
I mean, I never thought of it that way, but dead hangs are considered one of the best
That's what
back
I'm
stretches
saying. So I
ever.
didn't know what we got going on
um,
there.
so funny enough, in club, I used to be maybe 5'2". I was astronomically short, but I'm really known for just being explosive and being able to jump.
Bunnies, you got
Yes,
bunnies.
exactly. So when I was younger, I like kind of wanted to psych people out into not realizing I was maybe 5 foot. And so I would hang on the crossbar just as a means of like, oh, like don't think that I can't get up there. Um, but when I was
Intimidation.
younger, I would actually smack the crap out of the bar. Like it would make this like ring sound and I loved it. Got to college and my head coach at UCLA, shout out Mark, she was like, Faith, like, I don't really think that's good for your hand. And I was like, now that you mention it,
It
you're
does
right.
hurt a little bit.
But I still wanted to keep my tradition, like I've been doing it for the longest time, like touching the post, like touching the crossbar. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hang on it. So I like to just like take a second, have like 1 second of calm before the storm and like hanging on the crossbar is kind of like my moment to do that. So yeah.
Love that.
Um, so obviously you talked about, you were watching Texas Tech and you knew that we needed a goalkeeper. You had some big shoes to fill with previous Madison White. So how have you kind of embraced like that new leadership role with this team this past season and then this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, Maddie White was incredible and like watching her from afar was so cool and obviously knowing that I had like really big shoes to fill from a goalkeeper standpoint was like honestly really exciting just cuz this was kind of like my big chance to just prove to not just like anyone but more of myself that like I can step into a role like that. So that was super exciting and I think just embracing the team culture of like trust. And I think I don't know if you guys talked about this with anyone, but I had this saying last year, like, I got you and you got me. And I think coming in right away and building that trust factor from the get go was my biggest thing. And I think after even the Denver game and especially the Penn State game of just rallying together and not allowing one game to define our whole season was kind of like the biggest thing. And like, let's do this thing. And I think from a personal standpoint, like I had a ton of goals, and from a collective standpoint, we have even bigger goals. And just knowing that me performing at my best self, like, will definitely help the team get there was just kind of my goal. And just being the person that this team needed in any form of way was, yeah, I think kind of my biggest attribute last year. And I think looking into this year too, being older and now kind of being a veteran on this team, it's just so exciting to just have moments of gratitude and embracing just how much this team has given me and how much more I want to give back to it. So, yeah.
For sure. We all remember the Penn State game, and then y'all just made an insane run. What come conference play, made a deep run in the NCAA tourney. So we definitely saw your leadership through that and y'all's communication and coordination, trying to fix some things before y'all went into conference. So you kind of mentioned it before, but can you discuss the mentorship or guidance that you received from our coaching staff, but particularly from Coach Blair?
Yeah. I've talked to a bunch of pro coaches across the country, and Blair will never let me say this to his face or in front of anyone, but I'll be the one to tell him he's genuinely one of the best goalkeeper coaches in the country by far, and by far one of the
Retweet.
best. Yeah, one of the best goalkeeper coaches like I'm sure I'll ever see. Like this man knows his stuff. He just is so wise and so passionate about what he does, and it's so evident in the way that he talks, and he just knows the game and like genuinely has mastered goalkeeping like as a position, but and like very much made it his own. And he's so good at like catering to everyone's individual strengths. And I think for me, just I'm really athletic, and somehow he's made me even more athletic and more explosive, and really just leaned into things that I'm really good at and like really bringing it out of me. And just the micro details he notices. And goalkeeper is a game in a position of like inches, maybe even centimeters, and sometimes even like a fingertip. And I think him just noticing those things and when to correct them and in the right moments too has like given me those extra inches that I didn't even know that I could have. So yeah, I think his knowledge of the game has just been an absolute masterclass to experience. And even for one off season. And I even think about how much I grew over the course of last fall, and then even more so in the spring. And even just being back with him for these last 2 weeks has just been an absolute blessing again. So, yeah, he is an amazing coach.
That's all I've ever heard. So yeah, he keeps crushing it. Just, I mean, you go from Madison White, everyone's concerned, and then it was like one game, we're like, oh no, we're good. Found another one. We're fine. We hear from y'all a lot in different ways, different things that y'all say. That just how special Texas Tech soccer is and how special this program is, unique, and all those things. Can you put that into words on what that is that y'all are speaking to at all?
Yeah, definitely. I will say it's probably going to be really hard to explain, but
Yeah,
I'll try my best.
yeah, we'll take it.
I think one of the biggest things, like I'll say, is I could see how much fun this team was having, even when I wasn't even a part of it, like through the screen. Like I didn't know anyone walking into this team except for Jill, just because she was my teammate for one semester. But other than that, I had watched Texas Tech soccer from afar, and I remember just watching you guys and be like, man, like that team is having a party. Like they're just
Yeah.
dancing on the field. And obviously they made a run and were dancing for a long time in the NCAA tournament. And then, funny enough, on my visit here at Tech, I saw Chloe slide tackle the crap out of Caitlin Giametta on my visit, and
Sounds right. Yeah.
I was like, "What?" And then they like Chloe picked Bug up, and they started laughing, and for some reason, that memory in my head has just always stuck with me about the intensity that I'm sure Tom has always talked to you guys about, but just the intensity and like the grit and the grind that this team has. But for her to pick her up and then both to like laugh about it, I had just never seen something of that sort. And I remember like walking away from my visit and I was like, wow, that team just, that's something special. And I made the decision to come here, and I just, let me tell you guys, our runs are so hard. They're so
Yeah,
hard. I've never experienced a run where I'm thinking, man, I might not finish.
I
And
might
I'm a
die.
tough girl, but I'm thinking on these runs, man, I might not make it. And this team has just absolutely absolutely made me fall in love with running, and I think that kind of just attributes to like our team culture. Like, it is, you're doing it for the person next to you, and I'm going to push you to be your best, even if like that means that I end up on the floor and maybe about 2 minutes when we're done. um and yeah, this team just genuinely like brings the best out of each other. I can speak so highly of all of them that they bring out the best in me. And I think in like little moments, we very much show up for each other. And I think a lot of those are very much unseen and behind the scenes. But I do think they get seen once we're in the height of it all and we come together and rally in the 90th minute plus and so on. And we're still balling. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's probably the best way for me to describe it.
that was the best answer ever. We might just
Oh,
clip that whole 4 or 5 minutes and just
oh,
post it
perfect.
as one thing.
Yes,
People need to
for
hear that
sure.
because, yeah, y'all say that a lot and we can see it for sure. But to hear you articulate it, I love that story about Chloe and Bug. That's right on par there.
Yeah,
Um,
I had just never seen an intensity of that sort, and just seeing it on my visit, I was like, "Holy
oh,
smokes." The indoor was just, like, so loud and filled with energy, and it was just so fun to watch, so, yeah.
hype. I'm hype. You kind of touched on it there, but you come from a blue blood. Let's be honest. UCLA, they're winning soccer. They have all this history. Now you're at
Yeah.
Texas Tech. You didn't even know who they were. You're like, who is this team in the rankings? They're having fun. Do
Yeah.
you genuinely think? And I know I'm putting you on the spot, but be honest. Do you think you see
Okay.
a program here at Texas Tech that could grow into that or is on their way to being one of those programs that can compete at that way in and year out?
You know, absolutely, and I think seeing the way that Tom heavily invests in recruiting and even the younger girls, and telling them, like, "This is the standard," and this year in our leadership group meetings, like we talk about all the time, like it's not just hitting the standard, like why don't we raise the standard? And the leadership group that this team has is absolutely incredible. And I really do think that the younger girls, like, I think we talk about this all the time in college soccer, but if your younger class isn't not just trying to be a good team, they should honestly be striving to be better than the team that you already have. That's why you bring them in. And I really do think like the talent that Tom continually brings in is incredible, and he is obviously been here for a long time and absolutely knows what he's doing. And I think in the direction that we're going and creating a legacy of like greatness, like last year it was in the locker room of Duke. Blair goes, we called it not like a flop year, but obviously I kind of felt like it was a year of almosts.
Yeah.
Like we almost won the Big 12s. Like we almost like had a better seating and arguably should have had a better seating in NCAA's. Like we got against the number one team in the country. And Blair goes, if second round of NCAA's is considered our flop year, he was like, we're gonna be just fine. And I remember him saying that, and I was like, you're right. Like we were so not like angry, but we had so many goals and we were so mad about it. But we on paper had such an amazing season. I'm so freaking excited just to see where the future of this program is ahead of us.
Let's
So
go. Yeah, we're gonna talk more about the team and all that coming up here in a second. But yeah, I agree. Last year was impressive what y'all did for sure. Just so much transition and unexpected things, and y'all just kept taking every hit that came and kept going. So yeah, retweet all of that. Agreed.
Yeah, and you're even talking about bringing in like such a great recruiting class and even transfers. We wanted to give you the opportunity to kind of talk about those new additions on the team. Who's standing out to you, who's helping create fresh opportunities on both ends of the field, and allow y'all to get more goals or to be more better on the defensive end.
yeah, you're talking about just transfers or all the newbies in general?
Transfers, freshmen, you can name them all. Go through
Yeah,
'em.
honestly, okay, perfect. Well, I'll start with the transfers first because there's three of them. But Chloe Jopic obviously has a ton of experience, and I think just like having veteran experience is always good. And honestly, too, I think coming from other programs, like you have a different perspective of the game than maybe you might not have ever like thought of, just because every team plays so differently. So that's been super cool having her, and she's an absolute workhorse and kind of just is always like super high energy and hyping everyone up. And then Emily and Eleanor, they're both center backs and both defenders, and they're both like freaking awesome. They're both so good at like what they do, and they're both so great on the ball. And Eleanor's a monster defender and like balls out of the air. Holy smokes, she's just a tank back there. And Emily like brings this level of sophistication that is just so calming in the back line. And yeah, it's super cool. They all bring something different, and it's cool just hearing their experiences and how well they've just kind of, it's been cool to see how well they've just meshed into our team and how much they love it. And it's cool because I feel like we've been pouring a lot into them, but a lot of them have been pouring a lot into us. And it's cool how that just goes with, especially with transfers. Like, you never know, like someone else from another school, but they've
Yeah.
been, those three have just been awesome. Um, and I'd say from a newbie standpoint, this class is legit. They are all
Let's
freaks
go.
of nature in the weight room. All of them can bench press more than I can. That's not saying much, but they're awesome. They can all bench like 100 plus pounds and
Okay,
are just,
kids.
yeah, no, they're all ridiculous. And it's just so cool to see like the future of Texas Tech soccer and where it's going, because Raleigh, Laney, Katie, Riley, Emma, G, like all of them are so freaking good, and they just have an it factor. Like all of them have like some type of it factor, and I just cannot wait for them to get their chance to show it to everyone, because there's moments of it in training and we're like, holy smokes, you're gonna be good. And they all have those moments all the time. So I'm excited for them to just get their chance and to experience their first season and to see where their are ahead of them.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting me excited here, Faith. I'm just all right.
No.
Can't wait. We saw one of them have a moment in the Denver game, but you're a keeper back there. You get to watch the whole thing. We didn't get
Oh
to
yeah.
watch it. It wasn't streamed. What's your take on the Denver game? Obviously, y'all won 4-0. Sounds like a good result, but you're there. Well, what was your biggest takeaways from that exhibition game up at Denver?
Yeah, I mean, we had honestly been looking good in training as is, and I think the biggest thing for us is our energy levels these last, since starting fall camp and even over the summer, has just been super high. And we're all like saying like keep the good vibes going. And I think the Denver game, it's so fun. Like everyone gets to travel, like it's the first one, and it's just like funny to finally play someone else, because I feel like we've been playing for so long, but this is now just the start, and like
Yeah.
you're playing someone else. And I think a lot of great moments showed up in the game, and it's exciting to know that this is just the start. Like this is our baseline, and I think at the first half, it easily could have been 3-0 within
Yeah.
20 minutes. We did miss some sitters, but goals are the hardest thing to do in a game, is to score, and that comes with time. But the movements were there and the ball speed was there, and I watched the film back and we were zipping the ball, and we had so many like right moments, and execution again just comes with time. And again, it's exciting for us to just see that as our baseline. But I think the biggest thing that was so exciting for me was we scored in so many different ways. Like Emma just had an individual moment of brilliance and like scoring an absolute banger, and we had two set piece goals, and then we had Z just scoring an absolute like banger again, and having different people score in very different ways. And it was exciting just to see not just like the goals itself, but how he created them. And I was like, wow, like again, this is just the start. So, and Denver was very much a good team, and they
Yeah.
gave us like a hard time in some ways. And obviously, in the game, you just have to adapt on the fly. Like a lot of respect for them, because at first we were trying to figure out how to break them, and then we had to realize we had to go on the outsides, all the above. But yeah, I think the most exciting thing was having great moments show up in our first game.
Please, all of that. Let's go. Do you feel like you've experienced it 2 years in a row, but it sounds like y'all are a little bit more organized, a little bit ahead of where y'all were last year in the same, which makes sense because you had two big leaders out of that game last year. But
Yeah.
would you agree with that assessment?
Are you asking if I
Like
think we're a little
compared
bit
to
ahead?
last year, like in that same game, the reports I got from people there, it seemed like y'all were more organized and things of that nature. Or was that overblown a little bit?
Um, yeah, I guess you could say that. I do think what's helped a lot is we have more veterans,
Yeah.
I guess, in key roles that maybe last year they were like more in a breakout role.
Hmm.
So I think having their experience in this time like really set up our structure and our identity and our play style from the jump. I think last year we like were kind of figuring it out in that game versus this year I kind of felt like it was already established.
That makes
Um,
sense.
so yeah, in that sense, I would say we're definitely more organized. But I think the strides that we've made in this camp since August 1st were like bounds and leaps, and it was honestly incredible just seeing like from our first 11s to our third 11s that we were able to play in that 1 week, how many changes we were able to make, and this team is incredible at receiving information and applying it right away. So it was cool to see that even at halftime, like the changes that we made, we were able to like, get, I mean, 3 more goals out of it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Y'all came out flying in that second half for sure.
yeah, absolutely.
One of the most impressive things in that Denver game was that y'all did held Denver to only 3 shots, only two were on target. What
Chill.
were some of the like defensive principles or like communication that y'all did to kind of keep them contained, even in that first half where y'all were like fighting tooth and nail for that important first goal?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we're really big on when the moment we lose the ball, our energy goes up. And I think just the willingness to get back on defense in this game. And Skylar had this crazy, like 40-yard chase down after we like lost the ball and it ended up being in a counterattack to like one of our most dangerous chances. And like celebrating moments like that consistently through the first half and then even in the second half, but especially the first half, we ended up having like a little bit of a bobble in the 18-yard in our own 18-yard box and ended up like being a missed clearance. And then in turn, we turned their missed clearances into one of our goals, which is the goal Emma scored in the first half. And yeah, I think the celebration and like upping the energy once the ball gets lost was kind of our biggest like it factor in the first half of that game. But in general, I think what helped us the most, which is kind of I guess a little counterintuitive, is the best defense is keeping the ball because the more that you have the ball, the less defense you have to play. So I think like
Fair.
Oh.
ball security was one of the biggest things that we kind of focused on, especially like this spring, and then going into this first game is like really take care of it. So I think like having numbers around the ball offensively set us up really well defensively.
Yeah, for sure. It seemed like there was, I think, maybe almost the entire roster played in that. And you spoke to that earlier. Do you feel like this team has not just depth, but like impactful depth? It seems like people that aren't just coming in to be bodies, but they can actually make something happen out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think honestly, like one of my favorite aspects of the Denver game was that everyone was able to get in and everyone brought something different. Katie had so many great like runs on the outside. Like, mind you, this is her first college game and she was running up and down the left flank, like doing combination plays with Peyton
Okay.
Parsons on the sideline. And it's like, where did that come from? Holy cow. So yeah, I think it was cool to just see so many players get in and bring their own aspect to the game and do well. Like it wasn't just the starting lineup that scored. It was Sophie who has been injured this whole spring, like getting a goal and getting a header goal. Like that's super cool. And and we weren't just scoring early, like we scored as the game went on. Like we kept our foot on the gas, and that was kind of one of our points at halftime was like keep our foot on the gas. Like we're up 1-0. Like why would we let up? There's 45 minutes to go. Um so yeah, like not just depth from subs, like a loading aspect. It's a no, like these are all 30 of us are actual game changers. So it's super cool to see.
Preach. Say it. Say it more. I love it.
Yeah.
So looking ahead, your first match of the year that actually counts, Denver is just a scrimmage for our viewers. How excited are you for the San Diego State game, and will it be a homecoming of sorts for you since you know you're from California, San Diego, all of that?
I am so excited. I am so excited. There's no words to be able to contain my excitement because I was talking to the team today actually. I was like I'm going to need every single person's ticket possible
Yeah.
because I have so many people just come to this game to support us. Um, and funny enough, my freshman year at UCLA, our very first game was San Diego State. So I kind of feel like this
Oh.
is a little bit of a
Oh,
full
full
circle
circle.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just like started something new. Um, so yeah, super excited, and I'm I just cannot contain not just my energy, but I just feel like the energy of this team just cannot be contained. And just seeing the way that we've been training these last couple of days and implementing even the things from the Denver game and seeing the improvements that we've been making these last 3 days has just been super exciting. And we've been talking about this season and wanting it to be like record breaking. And that's kind of the word. And we have this new team song called Anything Can Happen by Ellie Goulding,
Okay.
and that's
Yeah.
been our jam, and I think
Noted.
the vibes of that have just been so high, so I'm excited for us to really get the ball rolling.
Get it going for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, without giving away the secrets or if y'all have even gotten to this point in preparation this week, but what should fans know about San Diego State as a team, or do y'all more focus on y'all in practice?
I definitely feel like, especially earlier in the season, we very much focus on us. I mean,
Okay.
they haven't played any games yet, like,
Yeah.
teams very much can change year to year, so hard to get a good gauge unless if historically they've always been that way. Um, from my personal experience, they are a very hard team to play against. In terms of their record, I can't say that I've like looked too much into them, but
Yeah.
just from my experiences in the past, like they're gritty, they get into it, they're physical, like they're a 90-minute game kind of team. And I think for us, just knowing like we got to keep our foot on the gas for the full 90. And I even think for any first game, and this goes for all teams across the country, like why not have a statement your first game? And obviously exhibition games aren't streamed, so I mean they're important and like they obviously lead into that's the real start of the season, but why not first
Yeah.
game like have a statement game? And I think that's the kind of the mindset that we're looking to have with our first one, and especially for the season that we're wanting to have, I think it'd be awesome to kind of carry that vibe into it. But yeah, definitely San Diego State. They got some good players on that team, and I know they're a hard team to play against. So no team, no matter who they are, should they have our utmost respect.
For sure, yes. We're super excited for Thursday to come. I did want to know, like, do you see it being an advantage almost that you're kind of getting any of those like road woes or like those road jitters out of the way for the first game of the season? Do you think that that's beneficial to the team rather than starting, the season at home? Because this will be, I guess, y'all's second road trip technically. So has that been helping y'all a lot?
Yeah, I definitely think the Denver trip especially is great because everyone gets a chance to travel. Like everyone gets to, we treat Denver as if this is the real thing.
It's real.
Hmm.
And I think just getting that experience of this is a travel trip, this is how we do things, and even for the newbies, just to see like for the first time. So Nick has this saying like, if you want to be a November team, you have to be a road team, like a road winning team. So I think like having those experiences early is always a good thing because we're gonna face adversity no matter what month it is, and facing adversity from the jump just allows us to adapt and pivot and understand like what we need to do early on. So yeah, I guess it's a good advantage to have early on away games. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So, we're talking about, how much you love this team, and obviously the fun that y'all probably are having on road trips and everything. So we kind of wanted to go into a fun segment where we're just going to ask you questions. Some are going to be about personal things for you. Some are going to be about your teammates. You can answer as you wish. Some of them may be rapid fire. It doesn't have to be rapid fire.
We're
Answer
terrible
as
at
Okay.
you
rapid
will.
fire.
Yes, we're very
That's
terrible at it. But I guess
that's
the
right.
first, but I guess to get started off, we're gonna ask you who has the best goal celebrations on the team that we can like, clip and GIF.
Yeah, let us know who to be paying attention to.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I can't like speak for any specific best like person, but
It's fair.
or like specific moment in general, but Caitlin Giametta has a famous like fist
Yeah,
bump in the
built a
Denver
statue.
game. In the Denver game. I wish you guys could have seen it. It was so funny. She scored and she like head down, can't even see instinctually, just like stuck her fist out. She like just got smacked in the face and shit.
we saw the highlight because like Sam's corner was a
Yes,
missile, and she was
yes.
like,
Yes.
I was like, I think she's like
She's like,
concussed.
can't
She just
see.
knows
Yeah.
she is, and just still does it.
And
On
then
brand.
the sideline was like, Caitlin, bug, bug, bug. And we all like went like that at the same time. And I think our team just in general like loves to see the double fist out, like cry
Yeah.
of war kind of vibe. So I'll say her.
Hilarious. Somewhat related to being dazed and confused and at the Denver game. Who on this team is most likely to give a teammate a black eye while celebrating?
You know, people had always said to not mess with Macy
I
Blackburn.
mean, she's
And you
killer.
know what? Friendly fire. But yeah, I that was just the funniest thing that we like watched it in film the other day, and Kylie was running down the sideline like almost going like tipping over sideways, and Macy was just bumping her fists, and we were just joking around about it. But hey, you know what? Kylie looks awesome with a
It's
black eye.
intimidating
So,
for the other
yeah.
team. She'll have to come up
So
with a good
doesn't
story.
even matter because she looks great with it on. So yeah.
There we go. Plug for anybody. Go follow Kylie Barr on TikTok. You'll see what we're talking about. That's
Yeah,
all.
you'll see
You got to go follow
exactly what we're
Kylie
talking
first.
about.
Sure. What is your favorite moment with the team, like outside of soccer related? Like anything that y'all have done outside of the field, like, all hang out together, go to a certain place. What's your favorite part?
Yeah, last year one of my favorite memories that we all had was we would all go to the movies together. Like we basically took over the whole theater, and we did that was probably one of my favorite core memories from last year. Just it was just hilarious. You would see all of us probably take up the center aspect of the theater, and so yeah, that was probably one of my favorite memories from last year. And this year we just went to Jay's for the I don't know if it was anyone else's first time. That was my first time
Okay.
going to Jay's. And it was funny because we all just wanted a little sweet treat night before coaches training. And we like kind of all talked about going, but then we were like, you know what? We're all going. And you just see a sea of red because we're all in our like matching
Yep.
outfits coming from dinner. And it was just so fun to like hang out. And I don't know, we were just buzzing, and it's funny because we're buzzing on the field, we're buzzing off the field. Like every time I'm seeing this team, like the energy is just always so high. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably my favorite moment from this year so far.
I think y'all more than any team on campus hang out together always on and off like
Holy
practice whatever.
smokes!
You're just
When
like
I
always
say
together.
this team is 24/7, like sleepovers happen, and we're probably already together with every waking hour. I
Yeah.
know sleepovers are happening because I've had some. So
Yeah. Y'all go
yeah,
to spring break together. I'm like, it's like y'all don't get sick of each other. You love that. We love that
no,
about
I
y'all.
think this past spring, I left April 30th. I left within a couple days. Sorry. Yeah, within a couple days, I was already like, where's my team at?
Oh,
So yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's a good thing. That's part of why the culture is so good for y'all. So I love that. What is a filled stadium venue that you haven't played in yet that maybe you want to, whether it's here or in the pros or wherever?
Yeah, I'll say my pro stadium. I would love at one point to play at Snapdragon in San Diego. That stadium is just absolutely beautiful, and or even at the bank where Angel City plays, and I just have a lot of memories like watching at both of those stadiums. So I think at some point in my life, I'd love to have like a full circle moment where I'm playing in that stadium, and um,
It's gonna
I
happen.
think even yeah, I think even playing at Casey Current Stadium this past fall for the Big 12 tournament was just so freaking cool, and
Yeah.
seeing like the KC all around and all the NWSL signs was just so exciting. Especially because I'm trying to go pro, and yeah, just seeing that like made me realize like it's so close. Yeah, but
Almost there.
college stadium I'd love okay, this isn't a college stadium, this is actually a pro stadium, but I'd love to play in Cary, North Carolina, but the
Yeah.
College Cup
It's
unfortunately is
not
not
there
there
this
this
year.
year. But I
It's
would
fine.
love to just play there again one more time. But it is unfortunately not in the cards for us this year. But yeah.
It's fine. Where is it at this year? It's
It is in Kansas
That's
City.
right. Yeah, that's right.
So
I just knew
hopefully,
I used to live basically in Cary, North Carolina for the last 10 years or so. So I was always like, they're going to come here, but it's because I moved. It's my fault. Now it's closer
gotcha,
to
gotcha.
this. So
Yeah, but so hopefully we'll be in Kansas City playing at that KC Current Stadium again. That is the goal.
that's the goal for sure. For sure.
Yes, we're manifesting that. So talking about manifestations and keeping the hype up and all that, who is the team's morale booster?
Oh.
Morale booster. There's
Do y'all
so
even need a morale booster?
yeah. I was gonna say I can't even like pick out just one, but I'm just gonna special shout out like Chloe Soto.
Mm.
Holy smokes, we call her Honey Badger. I'm sure you've heard
Yeah,
that nickname being
it's
tossed around,
appropriate.
but she is just so outpouring in every form of way possible, and even through her injury, just lifting people up and talking to people on the sideline or talking in the game. Just the amount of energy she just has is so contagious and infectious, and it just being around her honestly makes me want to smile. And I'm pretty sure I can speak for everyone when I say that, but yeah, in general, like this team is on an individual level so uplifting, and on a collective level even more uplifting. But yeah, shout out Chloe Soto. She's awesome.
It's a good answer. Good answer. Who's your soccer goat?
Soccer goat. Okay, on the men's side, I'm a huge Ronaldo fan. I know some people say that's a hot take, but he's my guy.
Okay.
Um, and on the women's side, okay, I don't have a goat of all time like
Too many
across the
choices.
board.
Yeah.
However, I will say my goat goalkeeper will always be Hope Solo.
Oh.
She is
Yep.
freaking crazy,
Insanity. Yeah.
just like intensity, her leadership, her just like fearlessness and bravery, like her in goal and the like momentum changing saves that she makes in clutch moments is like growing up like watching that, like before I even wanted to be a goalkeeper, I was like always in awe of her. So she'll forever be my goalkeeper goat.
Didn't she go to college initially not as a keeper as well or something? She didn't used to play. She didn't play keeper growing up either, so
Yeah,
she switched. So look
similar.
at that. Similar.
Yeah,
Makes
yeah,
sense
yeah,
that she's
exactly.
your.
She was a field player as well.
Yeah.
Played a little bit at UW, but was a mostly a goalkeeper at UW, but
Yeah.
very much could have been a field player.
Makes sense.
Well, we're all hoping that you become the next Hope Solo for the USWNT. We're
Yeah,
hoping for
you're crazy.
that.
Emma
um,
Hayes.
help a girl out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our next question is, who are you calling in the event of an emergency? Who's gonna pick up first?
Um. Okay. I'd probably call Skylar. Yeah, I'd probably call Skylar. I'd probably call Peyton or Molly. Actually, we have a lot of reliable people on the team, so
Good.
but I would personally probably call Skylar. I think that girl would probably at 5 a.m. if I needed something, drop everything to help me. So, um, yeah, and I'll probably also call Macy. She's my roommate, and she is
Reliable.
also one of the sweetest human beings you'll ever meet. So, yeah, definitely one of those couple people.
What's a soccer moment, not one that you're actually playing on the field for or around or involved in any way, but like you remember? You could tell every detail about it you were watching as a kid or recently or whatever.
Okay, oddly enough, this is a very like interesting moment, but I remember one time when I was younger, I was at a US Women's National Team game, and I was actually sitting really close to the field, and they were playing Japan, and Sydney LaRue was like warming up on the sideline, and not kidding, I think I'm maybe 3 or 4 rows back, and I'm like with my team. Not kidding. I make eye contact with this woman, and I felt like my soul was being like sucked out of me. Like her intensity and just her game face was just so intense, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like and I was like,
I
"That's
want
what
to
a
be
pro's
that.
like." Yeah, and um, I don't even know on her end if she even knew we were making eye contact, but to me, I was like in that moment, and I was just like, "Holy smokes!" Like I don't know why, but I was like, "That's what it takes to be a pro." Is like that level of like drive, intensity, and like fearlessness, and I could just feel it coming out of her, and she ended up like subbing in the game and like having a crazy impact and all that. But yeah, I just distinctly remember that moment. I think I was 10 and seeing Sydney LaRue, like one of my idols. I was like
Yeah.
whoa. So yeah, random moment, but
No, it
one of
clearly stuck
those.
with you. That's a great
Yeah.
answer.
What is your favorite game as a Red Raider so far?
One of my favorite games, and for personal reasons and for collective reasons, West Virginia last year
Wow.
was
Good
easily
choice.
one of my favorite moments. I had watched West Virginia easily a ton as a kid. Like, they were a Final Four team when I was growing up, and just known for being scrappy and always like historically an amazing team and just such a hard team to play against. And it was honestly surreal playing against them because I had watched them all the time growing up, and you always hear like West Virginia, West Virginia. And I mean, they're a great team in the Big 12, and
Sure.
that game was kind of like, if we win these next two games, like we can set ourselves up to like win the Big 12s like at home. So I don't even think that was on our minds, but I'm sure like kind of in the back of our minds it
Yeah.
was. But
Yeah.
um yeah, I just remember that game we like dug our heels in and like put our foot on the ground, and I think in the first couple like 10 minutes of that game, like they were all over us, and I just remember these moments of like us lighting up, and I was like watching the game and I was like, this is it. Like these are the types of games that as a player you like dream about. Like night under the lights, like it's freezing cold and you're just like grinding through it and your team's just having a game. And then obviously like Peyton Parsons scoring a clutch PK, and us just like having a defensive unit as a team in that second half. And obviously like that was the second time I'd faced a PK in my college career. And funny enough, you guys are gonna laugh. The day before in walkthrough, we like practiced PKs, and I had
Mm.
just turned to the team and I was like, guys, like I hope we don't get a PK. Like I don't know if I'm gonna save it. And then that night I had a dream that I was gonna save a PK and that there's gonna be a PK in the game. So I had a weird feeling going into the game that I was gonna get a PK. And then I did. And then like
Stone
that was
Cold.
probably, yeah, super
Wow.
surreal for me too. Um and then at the end of the game, we ended up like going into the locker room and having just like a dance party with the whole staff. Like Blair and Tom were getting it down to West Virginia. I've
Some of
never
the
seen them
things we
dance like that.
need to see on film. Tom probably burned the tape before they could post that.
Yeah, one of these days I'll show you guys a picture. I had a disposable camera and I like took some photos,
Oh.
and Blair is getting it down in the center of all of us. And um yeah,
Yes,
I
share
just
that
like,
when they can't make you run for it anymore. We'll
right,
like
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So I think just the vibes of that game, and I'll never forget in that game too. We were at halftime, and it, I'm pretty sure during halftime the temperature dropped another 10 degrees
It
because
looked
it
cold.
was cold. But when we walked out at halftime, holy smokes, it was freezing cold, and they were all bundled up in their parkas, like rightfully so. I'm pretty sure it was like 30 something degrees. Our whole team, including myself, walked out in short sleeves. I think maybe one person had gloves on, and you could just see all the smoke around us. And we walked out, and we looked so freaking cool. And I was like, we are winning this game. So,
Intimidating.
yeah, that was probably my favorite game as a Red Raider.
That's a great story. That's
Wow.
yeah, good stuff there. Okay, so you get thrown into Hunger Games. I hope this never happens to you. But what teammate are you picking as a partner so y'all can make it
Okay,
out?
you know what? I'm picking Clara.
Okay.
I didn't realize how uneducated I am in the wilderness until I've met this team. And um Clara just knows everything and anything about hiking. That girl is watching survival YouTube videos
Wow.
chronically. Yes. So if I were to pick someone to like help me survive,
You're set.
she definitely be the girl. And and then next person I'd have is definitely Alana. I also think she'd help me survive. As long as we
Interesting.
were a team. If we were like separate, she'd probably win the Hunger Games. But if we were a
She'd
team,
kill you first. Is that what you're saying?
That girl's in it to win it.
Yeah,
But
you're
if
two
we
people
were
are allowed to win
if we
this
were a
Hunger
team,
Games.
I would definitely want her to help me out
Don't want to be in the Hunger Games with Alana unless she's
against
on.
her. But if she was
Noted.
my teammate, that'd be awesome.
That's funny.
Um,
Yeah.
who has the best trick shots on the team? Who's like always
Oh.
making crazy shots in practice?
Okay. Funny you say this because Sam just scored a crazy diving header like 2 days
Oh, I think
ago.
she posted a video of that or
Yeah,
something.
she did.
Yeah,
She did. Yeah, that was just
on brand.
absolutely insane. But the amount of creativity that girl has and just very much plays like how you dream of playing as a 12-year-old, like doing rainbows and making people and all that. She brings that to life in a real game and she scores just some like crazy goals and whips it out like it's no problem. So, yeah, but she just also scored a diving header. So I'm going to say her.
That's hard to beat. There, we need to see that in the game. That'd be great. It'll happen. Speaking of games, as we peer ahead to conference, I know you're not allowed to look ahead, but just do it for 1 second for me. What
All
conference
good.
opponent are you most looking forward to?
You know, obviously all of them, but
Obviously.
obviously. I'm really excited to play Kansas for some
Oh,
reason. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know why, but after we played them
revenge.
in
That's
the
one.
tournament, I've just like when I found out we were playing them again in the Big 12s, I got so freaking excited. So I'm just excited for that matchup and just to see again how we do. Like they were good. Like they were just chaos in a team and like in a good way. Um and yeah, I've just been so excited to play them again. So yeah.
I like that answer.
What is one thing on game day that you absolutely have to have? Like what, I don't know, it could be an object, it could be a routine. What do you need?
You know, I I really need to have my pregame walk. I think I talked to you guys about this when we like first started, but I'm a huge be outside, I need to move and my pregame walk to me is just my zen time and where I can have just moments to myself and I put on like worship music and I'm just to myself and just really being present in where I am and being where my feet are. So yeah, I love that not just from a general mental health standpoint, but especially before games, like enjoying those moments, like slow moments before. Once pregame meal hits, you do not get a second to yourself. So the front half of the morning, I really try to keep it as slow as possible.
Are you avoiding the infamous whatever is going on pregame in the locker room? I remember we talked to Madison. She was like, "Yeah, no, I sit out in the hallway." Is that a keeper thing, or you're about it?
I love the team songs. I personally am not. I'm already kind of like a ball of energy
Yeah.
as is, and for me, like I really just need to be calm as possible going into the game. Um, does the whole team get down and are like having a blast? Absolutely. Um, I don't necessarily like fully remove myself, but I do have my headphones on
Doing your
because
own thing.
they're like bumping some crazy songs, which I love. But for my heart rate's sake, so I don't go into cardiac arrest, I need to keep it as soothing as possible.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, Next question is who's most likely to have the most yellow cards by the end of the season and why is it Kylie Barr?
Okay. It's funny because the moment heard red cards, I went Kylie Barr. Um, so Kylie Barr, and then for a little like runner up,
Mm.
I'm gonna say Millie. That girl is
Hmm.
very feisty. I don't know if you guys have been able to see that yet, but
We saw
she
it in the Penn State game, like her first game ever with Texas Tech. I remember she got
yeah,
a little feisty
she's
last
a
year.
feisty defender and she's not someone I would want to play against if she's pissed off. But yeah, both of those two, like, great defenders, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, you guys like can calm it down a little bit. It's okay. But there
Yeah, they're
are
intense.
people that I absolutely love having as my teammates. They will rally for you no matter what happens.
Yeah, if they need to go to war or
They'll go to
something,
war for
first
you.
one.
They
That's who
would.
you're calling. Like,
They
let's go.
would. Yeah.
Calling them at 2 a.m. Those are the two on the phone.
Exactly.
Those are all great answers. So awesome. Good job. Learned a lot about you and your teammates there. Um, just a few more things. We're moving in to your first home match. I'm going to let
Okay.
Tyler do this because he's the best one at pitches and he knows all the marketing things. But give them a pitch, Tyler, on why they should be there, and then we'll let Faith follow it up as well for the first home game of the year.
Yes. So first off, on Thursday is the away game. Make sure to watch on Mountain West Network. It'll be at 9 p.m. Central Time. So y'all stay up late, grab a cup of coffee, energy drink, whatever you need to do. Watch your Red Raiders in action. And then next on Sunday, first home game. Come, please pull up to Fort Walker. It's going to be back to school night. The first 250 fans are going to get schedule magnets. If you donate two school supplies, you will have a chance to win in a raffle for an iPad, and then the best dressed kids in their Texas Tech gear under 12 will receive a Texas Tech backpack loaded with school supplies. And then we'll also have a kids zone area as usual, with all the fun things, games, all of that. So there's something for everybody. We need y'all to show out, and I'm sure Faith can tell us why everybody needs to be there Sunday night with at John Walker.
No, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, it's a Sunday. Don't act like you have anything else to do. I'm just kidding. But it's a Sunday night game and it's
Nothing
in the
better to do.
yeah, you have nothing better to do. I'm just kidding. But, it's a Sunday night game, which we never have Sunday night games, and a game under the lights and just seeing this team come live is probably one of the most fun things you'll ever watch. Just this team is absolutely so fun to watch, and the donating school supplies, it's for a good cause, and we'd love to see your face. I see you. You better be there. But I
We'll be
see you
there.
through the screen. But yeah, just games at Walker are absolutely unbeatable, especially a night game. And it's the weekend, and that's just such a fun way to kick off into your next week and spend some time with some of the best girls you'll ever meet. So yeah, you guys
Yeah.
should definitely come out.
Be there. And it's your last time to see him for a little bit because y'all are in California. You're basically just living in your home state for a month.
Yeah,
So,
exactly,
catch.
which I'm not personally complaining, but
No,
yeah,
absolutely not.
we are some road warriors right now, so it'll be our the first chance to get us to see us play for a while. So you guys
Yeah.
should definitely come out.
You,
Plus, it seems like there's a ton of fun
yeah,
gifts
I mean,
and
I didn't know about all that
games
stuff.
to
Take a
be played.
kid, win some free school supplies.
Yeah,
Let's go. Let's do it.
yeah,
All right, Faith, this was great. We knew it would be great. Appreciate you coming on. Is there any last message or something you'd like to say to Red Raider Nation before we close this thing out for you?
yeah. Just in general, like last year, you guys turned up at all of our games,
We
and
always do.
we seriously appreciate you guys in every form of way. So we just want to thank you guys for the support and the amount of like sweet messages that I get and some of the girls get. Like we see them, we like seriously, they mean way more than you know, and you guys like do an amazing job of just showing that Texas Tech has the best fans. And yeah, we appreciate it more than you know. And it seriously means a lot. Like when we're stepping out onto the field, like we are playing for you guys. We like always say all the time, like we defend Walker, and that is for you guys. So any game that you guys can make it out and we see you, like it means a lot. And we love you from afar, and huge hugs all around.
What a great message. There we go, y'all. How can you not show up to the games now, y'all? She just
Right?
guilt-tripped you into it for sure. Well, thanks, Faith. Can't wait to watch you guys on Thursday, Sunday, every game. Lots of games. Soccer goes so fast. It's like we
Yeah.
don't give you guys a break. It's here and then it'll be over before we know it. Hopefully, it's going to be over in Kansas City. Manifesting. That's what we're going to see you guys
Yeah.
there.
Please.
But until then, best of luck this season, Faith, and thanks for coming on. And we finish every interview with a solid Reckham, so I know you know how to do that now. Reckham.
Welcome. Thank
Welcome.
you guys for having me.